watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. As far as won't take me, the highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me, I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Welcome back, guys, to the LCK. This is Joel, helping you guys with the translations for Dangun and Bittel as they do their own little session. Right after that, a long match. Of course, it was a really long one with Junior and BBQ. We kind of expected an even match onto both sides, and they actually definitely did get that. It's seemingly almost BBQ almost coming back to win at the end, but of course the Junior did finish the job, get that done to get that game #1 win. But really, you know, it was all about Junior. Had the biggest of advantages in the early game, and seemingly they could have taken that, got that game win at a much earlier point in that match #1, but all in all, BBQ really withstood until the end, trying to get any type of opportunity, any type of chances to come back from that one and try to make a miraculous comeback win. Did not happen, obviously, and Junior, with closing them out, we have to just observe at what point where Junior could have closed that out a little bit faster, but we're going to get a couple of highlights here where Tom Ketch already with the ultimate going in, and with the Jin, obviously the critical hitting on that first shot, with just coming back more and more with so much damage coming in from that Jin, and really single-handedly wipes out that Ezreal. But that was kind of the beginning, and a little those picks that led to a much more bigger in terms of advantages that Junior did accumulate for themselves as the game went on, and we're actually just looking to how that all went forward, because you know it's been about Jin mostly this entire game, and really putting on that critical every time that crit does hit, puts so much damage onto their opponents, and along with the movement speed boost that does happen with that, just really always has to work with how Jin has to work out, because they're constantly just explaining the mechanics of how the movement speed works alongside the crits, that you can just continually move faster and faster and chase down your enemies, and you have to have so much power under your belt. That's going to get Jin very much the confidence for Teddy to move forward. Because of those movement speed that they're still talking about, seemingly the most important thing about Jin is that make sure that you get to the forward shot, which is going to be guaranteed a critical that will get to a much faster movement speed as well. So it's always a possibility that the Jin can get 2 critical hits on its cycle of 4 shots. And we talk about the obviously the items that what affected the critical, but we talk about the runes as well, because we always talk about the fleet footwork, obviously being very much a typical rune that's been taken by most ADCs from the ranged champions, obviously just to sustain in lane, of course, to make sure you do get a bit more of a movement speed along with that stack that does put up. But whenever you do put up with these type of runes, you're just kind of working with the Jin's passive, not really relying on the fleet footwork just to get the movement speed boost, but you get a much faster movement speed boost once you do get a critical hit down. So these assortments of rooms obviously does help out get a stronger attacks, obviously, along with higher movement speed, and just allows for everything to come through because it's all about the crit, and whatever can raise a crit in the end can help you so much with that. Basically, it's been coming down to the attack power along with obviously the movement speed, and how that was utilized was the most important thing. But this was Pyke right here. You can also look at the attack. It's literally one attack, one shot, second shot coming through, forces out the flash, and that will just open up the curtain coin. Basically, just any type of open shots will get that through, and right through the cracks there, and does get that Pyke in time, and with that 4-shot just threatening the Israel from behind. And it just goes to show you, Jin Air, obviously with Jin, you have to just make sure you get that one shot that gets you through and gets you that boost to movement speed. And we also get to see this last highlight here, once again, how Jin's attack and also the movement speed, these dynamics play such a big part here. Once again, the first attack does come in with the Q, that auto cancel, but in the case, basically a couple of shots coming through wipes down the entire just a champion. Of course, with a little bit of help with his teammates, he does help in time as well. But with Jin, obviously known for its hit and run type of mechanics, obviously just hitting some shots, putting in massive damage, and having enough movement speed to run right back away so that you don't get killed off yourself. So Teddy showing off how best you used when it comes to the Jin power. And look at the obviously the fans' reaction. Really goes to show you that the 24 minutes that ADC gets a 300 CS is pretty good according to the fans' reactions from that. And well, of course, with Teddy, every time Teddy dies out, Jin Air fans know that just basically a lifeline support. You have to just go forward here. And let's go to the one-line summary from Bitdol. And it's a long game. And the one-line summary, it's one character, and he's trying to just use that one character in multiple different instances, but I'll just read it out to you. It just says Jin. So whatever you guys want to make of that, it's completely up to your freedom, and I'm going to leave it up to that and send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. Who would have thought the one-line summary was Jin?
They had a lot to say about Hail of Blades, Stormrazor, Jin passive celerity.
And then their one-line summary became a one-word summary. But it's all about Teddy here. 100% kill participation on that Jin, 8-2-6. Third win for MVP for him.
And man, he went a long way to exposing just how strong Hail of Blades, celerity, Stormrazor, Jin is. But closing the game proved a fickle mistress for the side of Jin Air. They were able to get the kills early before the beef was there, but the moment the tanks became a little bit more tanky, their frustrations around using Baron and even getting Baron at some quadrants, when the game went on and on. There was a team fight that BBQ won and stole this game away. It wasn't to happen. Jin Air get over the line. They'll have some little things they want to adjust for game number 2 to close out a game a little bit easier.
Yeah, this they just kind of hit a brick wall eventually where they weren't sure how to advance. A lot of really good picks coming through from Crazy on the Gragas, isolating the Jin.
Bend it like Teddy.
Yep. That's it. Right around. It's that shot. Ghost unable to body block for his support. But, yeah, just hit a point where they were so scared of Teddy getting popped, even with the Devour available, that they had to play this out very slowly. This is going to be the final fight where Nova had the smite ready to go, stole it away.
Until Spellbook, he was finally level 18 by then, so double smite, no problem. Pick it up with more burst. Ghost goes the long way, and that means that his tanks die for free. Had to be a bit more aggressive there, but easy to say in hindsight. With the map hacks on, Jin Air win the game from this play, but they go back to the Jin. How much difference will we see? I smell a Kindred in game number 2, as she actually fell through picks and bans for the first time in a while.
Well, was banned away in the last round by Jin Air.
But by the time it got there, could have been first round.
Absolutely. It was an odd draft overall. We saw some strange things happen. BBQ did not pick that up, got stuck in with the Trundle, which Trick was putting good pressure on the map initially with, but Jin happened, some stalls happened, the win came through for Jin Air in the end. Now they're going to be looking for that 2-0 as we jump into pick and ban for game number 2.
No changes in the personnel, no substitutions, no cacao for game number 2. So we're back to BBQ on the blue side in this one. So the same as the game that started the series 6 days ago. Fun to see if there's many differences. The meta has kind of stabilized in terms of bans. A Pike ban actually came out from Jin Air on the red side as their second ban last time they played. But you'd imagine they're going to be more focused on the Nocturne and friends.
Yeah, probably just going to be stuck with banning those away. Aatrox is already off the board. That's going to be the Talia. So we'll see. Likely going to be Nocturne banned away and maybe just that first pick Kindred for Trick.
Waiting to see what the decision is here by Jin Air. The Nocturne is available, and in this spot, BBQ chose to leave open multiple options.
Yeah.
Will Jin Air do the same?
They banned Zoe at this point.
Blue side Zoe ban has already happened, so see what Jin Air want to do. People playing around, specifically BBQ playing around with leaving things open, but Jin Air will go boring style. Means that Kindred is left open. Trick had a really good game on Kindred when BBQ played last against MVP. But the Swain is the flex pick, and it might just be the selection here for the side of BBQ.
Well, it does come through. Kindred already hovered, likely to be locked here for the side of Jin Air.
Fits Umti's playstyle, and I think he's looked good on the Kindred largely, so I'd like to see it taken. In the first round, saw a bit of a nod of the head. Seems like it's going to be considered for sure. Sejuani, Trundle, these other picks are available, but Kindred has that combat advantage over us. They're going to time out, use the time to consider the second pick in the first round. Shen could be considered. Still available at this point, and the Galio has been very early snapped up. See what Jin Air want to look at with their second pick.
Could just go for an 80 carry at the moment if they want it.
Ezreal.
Ezreal would be a nice one, but maybe they get a Gragas takeaway.
I don't mind this as a takeaway because it's a denial of the Gragas ultimate to reset the Lamb's Respite, and also because Crazy, man, had some great casks in that game, but we will be denied the Gragas pick on the side of Jin Air. Means BBQ can take it if they want it. Hovering the Xayah right now. Xayah's been lower priority post-Rift Rivals than we might have imagined. And I think they will take the Gragas because that was certainly not one of their issues.
Ooh.
But BBQ are going through many different ideas of what they want to put together. They're finally going to settle on 2 different champions that do well against the Kindred. The Alistar to head you out of the Lamb's Respite. And finally the Gragas for similar reasons.
Find out where that's going to be. Could go back to Crazy in the top lane. Maybe we see Trick use it in the jungle. Or maybe even a support. So has that 3-way flex going on, as does the Swain at the moment. But Ghost hasn't really delivered for us so much with the mages in the bot lane. So, doubt that he'll be using the Swain. We'll see the Trundle yet again.
Reflex is going on here. We think the Trundle will be jungle. Ignar's already played the support Gragas and saw a massive game yesterday from Effort on the Gragas, so that is still a true flex pick. They'll like it compositionally against the Kindred. Jin Air, rounding out the first round, could take an 80 carry and ban away some, or they could be moving away from the marksman. Vladimir could be a pick for Teddy. We're not 100% clear, but likely you would say. Take that one and see where they focus their bans on, given they don't have that much information about the BBQ comp.
Playing with time, Jin Air just really running down the clock, trying to get as much space as they possibly can to figure out this draft.
I appreciate that Jin Air is taking their established game mantra and putting it into pick and bans. Run down that clock at Jin Air. Don't go for any early lock-ins. Leave it to the late game of every pick.
Well, Pike banned away. Not going to be seeing that one for Ignar yet again. Wasn't the most impactful in the first game, but still going to warrant the ban. Now Darius taken off the table.
Mundo always one to consider when the Darius banned away. And Jin Air do not have a top laner yet. Someone has played the top lane Vladimir, but not 100% clear whether he'll return to it. Has been played in the last 2 series, so you have to keep that in the back of the mind if you are BBQ. That's another respect ban towards Ignar here. His Alistair, which he already hovered, is still available.
Final ban from BBQ. We'll see if they want to try to take an ADC off the board there, or if they're expecting this Vladimir to go into the bot lane. It's going to be the Anivia in the end. So Grace, bringing that one out twice in a row, does receive a ban.
They already had 3 bruisers, so sort of comp where Anivia could have been a very big pick for Grace. See what Jinner wants to go. Again, they have a lot of flexibility. All we really know about is Kindred, Trundle, and to some degree the Shen. In terms of their role assignments, Darius was banned, so the Doctor might be in here for Jinner.
Yeah, looking like we might see the Mundo, so we'll get locked in for So On. So Shen for Nova. Vladimir, though, the final question. Where is this going? Is it for Grace in mid, or is it for Teddy? More than likely for Teddy,
I'm going to say Teddy just because we've liked Grace on counter picks, so giving him last pick overall in the draft could be very valuable. Beside of Jinner, they haven't really banned the other Mundo counters, Gnar, Kennen, those are the ones we've seen recently. Gnar has a bit more of a defined teamfight role compared to the on-hit Kennen that we see taken into the Mundo, so they're going to take the Gnar. Brushing off those old Gnar skills are a lot of these top laners recently. And seems like we're going to be rounding out the draft with either Swain bot lane or a marksman being taken by Ghost. But consider the Varus is available. The Ezreal also was one that eventually got to the spot, and it will be the Ezreal as the final pick.
So Ezreal taken away. Now Jinner looking to piece this all together, figure out whether Vlad is going into the mid or the bot lane.
Consider Vel'Koz. A lot of teams will take Vel'Koz in this spot. LeBlanc against Swain is a bit more bold, but it is quintessential Grace. Seeing what they want to do here. Also playing around, they'll go Ryze last pick. Not 100% sure that's going to be mid lane, but they were picking for Grace as a last pick. Most likely going to wait on the lane assignments before all is said and done. But seems like Teddy will be on the Vladimir, and the Ryze versus Swain matchup for the first time in recent memory.
Yeah. So Trundle in the jungle, Gragas support. And seems like it will be the Ryze mid as we 8 seconds left to go for them to swap.
Vladimir has been seen as a weak pick into the Swain really in any lane, whether it's duo or solo, so it makes sense for Jinner to stick with the Ryze in the mid lane. Swain and Ryze, both significant nerfs to their wave clear in patches gone by, so both of them are a little bit lower ebb in the mid lane. Ryze does have some great synergy with Umti, though, if they want to pack up and leave a lane or gank onto the Swain pre 8 minutes before the stopwatch is available. There's a lot of kill pressure there, but it's not a conventional pick into the Swain. That will be the Vel'Koz that other teams might have entertained.
Well, Teddy, overall, solid game on the Jhin, game number 1. Now moving back over to the mages, the Vladimir coming through. Gonna have to be very expected of him to be diving into the back line, laying down that Hemo Plague, especially on the members like Ghost with his squishy Ezreal, squishier compared to everybody else. Trying to get that max amount of damage coming through from him and his teammates. And try to take this win with a 2-0.
CF Tricks, Trundle can stand up to the Kindred this time. A lot more presence pre-6. Could be a lot more action around Umti.
There was a good start on the Trundle last time out. Let's see if Trick can do that, but better. Trying to get ahead, try to get a lead, and try to get BBQ a win. Let's go ahead, jump onto the rift for game number 2. BBQ faithful, trying to will their team into a victory. And we got some.
Oh, that drawing the right was
some
excellent.
manga-looking stuff going on.
That is some realistic stuff going on from the BBQ fans. The tears. Not sure if the players will have tears after this game, but the first game had a lot of tension, despite it being very one-sided for Jinner, and understandably from the side of BBQ. I already said it during Champ Select in the pregame, but does feel a bit like a playoff for them. They're basically guaranteed to be playing in a playoff-like series, but not the one they would want to be. That would be the promotion series, which will happen at the end of the year. If you're unfamiliar with Korean League of Legends, we still do not have any semblance of franchising. So there is 2 relegation tournaments played every year, after spring and after summer. So it seems like, given they are 0 and 10, you basically want to lock them into that relegation spot, especially if they go 0-11 and lose to fellow strugglers Jin Air.
Well, Ward had come down, Nova and Teddy. Sitting forward in the brush. Oh, Ghost, he smells it. He knows that something's going on.
Actually a pretty weak level 1, Teddy and Nova, so not really any reason to stick
Aha,
around.
transfusion. That's it.
I mean Shen can taunt, but
Sure.
it's not an ideal level
Not going to
1.
be that much follow-up, so.
And taunt is much worse, a level 1 skill, than the Q to help push, so regardless, we'll leave it at that. As on the top side, the start was spotted here when it comes to Umti's pathing. Gonna see topside scuttle, rushed to by Trick, camps it off spawn. We'll be able to take at least one, and that was the one with the mark. So nice little momentum there because of the smart warding coming down from BBQ.
Well, UMT just going to keep pushing it through the jungle as swiftly as he can, try to get that level 6. Now, warding out for that bottom side scuttle crab.
Man, it feels really bad if he gets double scuttled by a Trundle.
Yeah.
And with the effort put into level 1 and kind of the inaction that Jin Air showed, remember the bot lane was more concerned about looking for collapse. We'll see what happens here. Not a lot of mana on UMT, but he is running towards the bot side scuttle.
Yeah, Ward going to spot him out, but no one really nearby to try to contest this, so we'll just be able to take down the crab here with relative ease.
And it got marked because they took long enough. That's amusing. So will be a mark coming through the side of UMT. The kind of quandary that Trick had is he could have made the beeline for that scuttle, but the Rise does collapse better, and bot lane was pushing, so he wouldn't have had a lot of help. Speaking of collapses.
Yep, looking for the never move, not going to have it. That's going to be the pillar coming down. Just get pushed back a bit. Grace really trying to hold on, but it's going to get taken down in the end. Flashing just a bit too late. Will get killed. First blood over to Tempt.
Last Chicken is lost by Grace. Could have chosen to use his summoner earlier. He doesn't. They get enough damage in. Chased down. Nice kill collapse by the side of BBQ.
Very swiftly putting that kill on the board. Bringing out the Swain. Grace immediately going to TP back in. Has the tier to stack up, but going to be a nice advantage here in the mid lane for the side of BBQ.
The shorter death timers that were introduced on patch 8.13 means it's not very punishing, like you mentioned. Gets his tier earlier than he would have. But the summoner being down is something that Trundle will have a lot of gank pressure on.
Yep.
Your flash is up. Trundle, best case scenario, is blowing a flash most of the time. Now,
a well-placed pillar.
Exactly. Can set up a never move with the movement speed slow, and then death may be assured onto Grace. I feel like the death timer change had a bigger impact on professional play than maybe Riot Games first intended, because now have led to longer games. Spot side, seeing a bit of trading.
Yeah, looking for the fight there,
Trick's
but now
here.
it's going to be Trick arriving. A lot of damage up through onto Nova.
He's done.
Yep, not even going to use the flash. Knows that he is dead, and that's 2 kills on the board. Off the back of these ganks from Trick. 1-0-1 on this Trundle. TP back into the mid lane from Tempt. Has that Catalyst ready to roll.
Not sure about that engage timing from Nova. He went aggressively with his taunt, and then had no exit plan because Trundle was there. So nice pathing from Trick. 2 games in a row, like you mentioned, Achilleos, on the Trundle. But some questionable timings here by Jin Air has meant that it's been a very fruitful early game for the Jungle Troll.
Absolutely. Bombing Cinder in the inventory here. Really gonna have that ready to go. Another move connecting in onto Grace, who has no mana remaining. See hovering nearby, but they don't see Trick, so figures that he is going to be fine for the moment.
Not really hovering in service of anything because he used the last bit of his mana in order to look to push the lane. So UMT will just back away, waiting to see if he's going Blood Razor. He has gone Blood Razor before in competitive, or if it's just be the Warrior in chat. Probably sees where his lanes are at. Maybe he'll go Blood Razor and say, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take down some neutrals.
That hard carry performance coming through. Only time will tell. I'm still guessing it's probably going to be a Warrior. Just go for it. The standard build.
Late game here is on the side of Jin Air, as Rise and Vladimir can be beefy damage bros in those team fights. Not that Swain is going to be irrelevant, but I think Swain is much stronger a little bit earlier. Trick standing on a control ward, clear that one out. Yeah, slight late game advantage to Jinner, despite having only a pseudo-marksman in the Dunk Kindred.
Already fallen behind. 1,500 gold here. Now they can try to keep up. CS suffering a bit here for someone, as you might expect. The Gnar range harass going to be a bit better than the infected cleavers, because Soan really has to use that to try to get the last hits.
BBQ do have that winning lane in the top side very comfortably. Gnar will be working towards Blade the Ruin King at some point, probably Black Cleaver as well, and just making the Mundo's life hell. Grace takes a nice trade, but can't really shove and roam very reliably on the rise. A lot of nerfs around that over time. It's going to be Protobelt first when Teddy gets around.
Steady she goes yet again. Not going to be that big of an action-packed early game. Crazy just trying to harass Soan as much as he can.
No flash
push
still.
Around. Vision of Empire coming down. Umti's going to be nearby. They drag him back. And Umti doesn't use the Lambs for Spite. I guess maybe the call came through. Grace saying that he was definitely dead.
It didn't have vision. I think they did have vision, actually, with the Trinket Ward on the Gragas coming in. Could have flashed Lambs for Spite, but maybe it would have been a double kill to the side of BBQ. There was no one else there to bail out, so I'm not 100% clear whether it would have been the right move to do that. Umti looks for a better time, but for Grace, with his flash still down, nice wraparound gank by Trick, who's doing his darndest to set up a rare 4th game win for BBQ.
Yeah, Grace 0-2-0 now on this rise and down by 15 CS. So brings this pick out. We haven't seen a whole lot of rise as of late. And so far is just being focused out by Trick. Another well-executed gank from him.
We've seen BBQ get big leads and then not being able to close games. Not that surprising when they haven't been in position to close games very often. Nice little prediction there, actually, by Ignar.
Yep.
Will chase away Umti, who still hasn't shown which jungle enchant he's going to. I assume he wants to buy it straight up when he goes for a back. Good news for BBQ fans is that they do have a lot of the fallback things to be able to close games. They have a marksman. He can have the ability to both siege and also set up for some Baron damage. So BBQ don't have the all bruisers comp, which can be more difficult to close out games for even some of the better teams in the LCK. Do have some decent siege options as well, and they have the Gnar, who should have the lane pushing advantage in the 1v1 over Mundo. So this does suggest that BBQ can stick the lead. They might be able to close the game as Grace flashes back up. But for how long?
Does have it, but seems like he'll be okay this time. No Realm Warp, so would have been in an extra awkward position, but he'll be able to stick around for the moment.
Grace trying to patrol the bot side, mainly because his duo was there, but also to protect for the first strike to be taken. Then against the run of play, first strike goes the way. Umti is going to get it back in, and finally it will be revealed which jungle enchant he wants.
I'll figure it out. The mystery is going to be solved, and yeah, it's the expected one. It's nothing too crazy. Stunned into the wall, straight up. Maybe the ult pop here from Soan as he tries to stay alive, goes golden for the moment. Crazy goes dangerously low. And a TP is going to be burned by Grace in the mid lane, but we'll cancel that one. Get up by that never move. Now looking to trade a little bit of damage back on attempt, but realizes he doesn't have that much power behind him yet.
Turns out they didn't even need the teleport, but just a bit of safety was provided by Grace. Going to hurt his back timing. So one lives. Ult into stopwatch, a pretty common mechanic, and no missing health damage between Crazy and Trick. Means that Trick will back away. He's on the Rift Herald. They still have lane presence up top. It should be the Rift Herald off spawn to the side of BBQ.
TP back on the lane for Soan. It's going to be a lot more farming. That Sunfire cape here is freaking Crazy. We'll be looking for the Rift Herald. Umti comes over the wall. The pillar coming down. Stand United going to be used. They try to take this fight. 900 remaining here onto the Rift Herald. Spike comes in.
I believe Umti got it.
It's sitting there on the ground. He's able to pick it up, but can they make it out of here with their lives? Realm Warp tossed through. 3 members exiting, and now Soan on the run. Doesn't have the ult. Still has the flash should he need to pop it. Nova pushes over. Drop that dodge field. Soan still going low. Pillar comes through. He will flash to the other side, but Nova might be sacking his life for this, but the rest of Jinner still chasing in, looking for the kills. Crazy manages to find the kill onto the Shen. Crazy jumps away, taking that hop. Now Ignar arriving. Explosive cast. Flash by Umti. Keeps himself alive. Now diving in underneath the turret. Soan going dangerously low. The Lambs for Spike comes down.
Watch
to help
Vladimir.
keep him alive. Grace as well falling. Teddy jumping in, drops the Hemo play. Crazy's gonna be dead. Trick goes golden, but Teddy is gonna give up his life as Ghost finds the shot. Whereas the Jin Air still have to play back behind this tower. It's 5-1. The only kill that they've been able to get was right there onto the Gnar. They're still playing forward. A very dangerous game here from Jin Air.
One has enough time to get his ult back up after all of this. 2 for 1 goes the way of BBQ, but the Rift Herald does go to Jin Air. Bit of an interrupt onto Umti, but no worries on that. He'll still be able to come back. Probably a decent trade for Jin Air. They were behind in the game, so 1 extra kill for the Rift Herald. You probably take that and Jin Air on the board. Yep. Teddy was in the ideal Vladimir flank, which in the later parts of the game will be a game winner, but still too early to be able to take down multiple members. Gonna watch the replay here.
Where do we even begin?
We begin with So1 still having his flash up. Nova, I feel there's a communication problem there between Nova and So1, because So1 had flash to get out and Nova had no escape plan. And you're not doing this in service of the Vladimir, because Vladimir's not big enough to actually close the game. At this point, the Lamb's Respite under turret buys some time. The Vladimir gets in. The timings here, probably not perfect from Teddy. Jack did a great video where he talked about some of the Vladimir timings. He still gets 1 for 1, but not the biggest trade. And let's see how the Rift Herald is used so we can, in hindsight, work out the whole situation.
Yeah, that doesn't come up with a tower kill here for Jin Air, especially getting the first tower of the game. Then that could be quite costly for them in the end.
Trick is having quietly a fantastic game in game number 1.
1,
Everywhere
2,
he's
4.
gone, his contribution has been massive. Trundle Swain, an oldie is a goodie when it comes to the synergy there. Trundle Pillar into the yoink over from the Swain passive.
Jump here as Empty arrives in the top lane. Crazy gonna get
No
the Mega
flash.
Gnar. Red buff's here. Gonna be that TP coming through, and Empty already chunked out quite a bit. Can't get that third proc on the Hyper.
Optimistic to complete it.
Okay,
He really
flash
wants
away.
it.
That's gonna be the never move coming down. Empty will just fall. Don't think he has the Lamb's Respite up. I can't really tell. I think it might just now be
double
back,
dive.
But yeah, that is now gonna be action in the bottom side. Teddy and Nova going low. Teddy jumps forward, has to go into the Sanguine pool, which costs him just a lot of health straight up.
I'm trying to work out if Nova was wave clearing with his taunt. I think he can do that nowadays. That was interesting. Maybe he was predicting. Who's to say? But we'll leave that on one side. Grace, meanwhile, had a lot of action happening around him, but didn't go for any collapse plays. His teleport not used. All right. Game has gone a bit silly for a moment there. Yep. But Teddy's going to pick up some farm and back away.
He's getting the... He's getting kicked in quite handily here by Ghost, poking down the Vladimir. Needs a bit more power before this damage becomes, completely negligible.
Spellbinder on the way next, you'd imagine, for Teddy. Getting his initiation
Probably.
items together. But admit, his Swain was the more impressive of the non-standard champions, so we'll see how his Vladimir looks. He has an eye for the flank, as it's not so much a flanking Rift Herald, but one used on the top side. See if he gets much value.
Well, Trick's not really nearby, so we'll just be the Gnar alone, trying to stop this push from coming through. Not a lot of damage dealt to this tower, so Rift Herald took it down to about half HP on this.
Not going to be able to take the turret from this, so one no ranged auto attack. I guess they did it top side because the Shen couldn't join them to outnumber rather than the other lanes. They haven't really done a speck of damage to any turrets, so the Rift Herald in hindsight wasn't super high value, but did get a full charge off.
He would love to go for that Scuttle Crab, but just a slight bit too dangerous, so we'll have to just go ahead and watch it die via the ward as Nova's fighting the Cloud Drake.
He's losing.
Very much so.
So BBQ have a lot to look forward to this game. I think in the late game, I am favoring Jin Air's comp because they have quite a lot of scaling on their side, but BBQ soon will have intense zone control on the Swain. They have Ezreal hitting 2 items very soon, and the Gnar is going to be winning the split push war for the foreseeable future. So true 5v5 seems like the only avenue for Jin Air compared to the superpowered Kindred. Just speaking of Kindred.
Oh boy, Umti. Getting hit, jumps back in, actually tries to go a bit aggressive here as Grace comes in from the top side. Big Gnar just going to have the flash over the back wall. Trick gets chunked out quite a bit, but no kills to be found.
Not the damage take anyone away. We didn't mention it, but someone has gone Unsealed Spellbook this game. That could be weird and wonderful on the Mundo for a Smite war. That sounds like Umti said, hey, let's do a Baron at some point, and Umti said yes. That actually would be pretty good, because Mundo's Cleaver does a lot of damage to Baron, and he can tank it for a long time. But I imagine the same sort of sleuthing was done by BBQ.
You just have to get into the position to actually pull that off, where you can duo the Baron.
You blasting plant behind, and good things can happen.
Because you hope that there's no ward inside. Up to yet again. Hovering around the top, waiting for Crazy's Mega Gnar to expire. They're going to flash in for this one. Now the Stand United actually being committed. Someone's pretty damn fast. They'll get the taunt. And this should be the Gnar going down. Who's going to get the kill is the big question. And it's going to be Umti in the end, taking away that final blow.
And if they are thinking about that gimmicky Baron, Achilles, taking the top lane out of turret would be a good start. So let's see.
They'll help open it up.
If we've tripped over the cheese comp here from Jin when it comes to that objective, we're going to take the top. Trading it for mid lane, definitely not ideal in terms of value of turret, but if you got one thing on your mind, who's to say that they're wrong?
Well, the wave clear going to come through from Grace, so they keep that alive. But mid and bot towers both have taken quite a significant amount of damage. An aggressive push through there from the side of Jin working the minion wave up into that inner turret and top. Nova just hovering nearby, assisting this Rise up into him alive.
He's gone for a very early Executionist calling to help with the kill pressure onto Trundle and Swain. They'll do a lot of healing, of course. Gragas in the support role, not as many as Umti picks up a mark, but sadly Achilles only his second mark at 18 minutes. If you remember, we had 5 around this moment for Peanut in game number 2 of the first series.
Yep.
Go on to lose that game, but shows you how wildly the mark numbers can vary.
6-2, 2,000 gold here in 18 minutes. So BBQ with a nice lead, a really good start, especially from Trick, but still have to be very careful about how they go deeper into this game. We have seen BBQ throw much larger leads in the past.
The Observer once again showed us low health Jin turrets. Seems to be his thing.
He's just all about that today.
He is. We'll have to talk to him later. Have a laugh with the Observer, newest member of the English stream family. Definitely had a lot of character today and yesterday. As we're watching on here, BBQ pushing up, trying to take easy objectives where they can. Actually sticking a turret will be nice, but they decide to get the forward vision bot side. They will want this turret onto the Ezreal soon as Teddy. It's a bit of damage onto Trick. Gotta mention, there's definitely been some gaps in the BBQ playbook around turret taking. They've been so far ahead that Temp should have represented basically an unassailable zone that the enemy couldn't interact with. And while Jin have sent everyone topside, including the Shen, BBQ still haven't taken bot lane turret.
Blue buff snatched up here. Grace able to get that for himself. As they just keep hovering around this bottom side of the map. Teddy very low on the HP. This Trick wraps around from behind. Waiting for the pillar. Tosses that one in. Umti also nearby. Did you see the 3-man collapse onto Ignar and Trick here, perhaps?
Just too easy for Jin to repel this push, though. We're not seeing BBQ set it up very well.
A lot of damage onto Trick. It's going to be a flash over the wall. He's going to be dead. Umti comes up with a kill. Even had the Hemo Plague ready to roll in just in case. Trick eliminated.
So
doesn't gain much for Jin, but alleviates pressure.
Let's talk about what we're not seeing. Actually, maybe not this second, as that's awkward. Temp definitely should have hit that never move. But what you need to do in those setups that we're not seeing from BBQ is that the Gragas and the Trundle invade, put down the usual wards, one just around the cove, one behind around where the Gromp is, and you also put one in the lane. Usually it will be seen by the enemy, but it's threatening the turret dive, because remember, Crazy has the teleport, and you set up for a dive. Gragas and Trundle are very scary with all their CC, and that's where you take the turret instead. They've been doing kind of the lazy version of that on their setups and just trying to rush in with the Trundle. Jin is not buying into the hype, and Jin have kept their turret up for 21 minutes, even after Shen packed up and left. and now got his third mark as well.
I think that might have tilted him off the face of the earth if he missed that mark to the Gnar boulder coming through, but does manage to get it as Grace takes a good amount of damage here from Tempt. Opted into this matchup with the Rise. Found it on the last pick. But as far as going 1v1 with this Swain, it has
turret is
playing
still
out
up
so well.
Oh, he can do it.
Couple shots coming through.
Oh,
Does he stick in it? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All right. Pulled it off.
I'm giving him a clap as well. They got it.
Little golf
Finally.
clap going then.
It was really hard work. You could write a diary entry about killing the outer turret in Game 2.
Yep.
But that's what happens when your setups aren't ideal, Achilles. You know, we usually don't even talk about the zoning off of a bot lane outer turret and the take because it's become boring. You know, it's a very textbook thing. But when you notice a team struggling to do it, and it's a team that only has 3 game wins on the season, you talk about the fact that it is a multi-step process that BBQ, frustratingly, took a long time to actually get down.
Well, 6-3, still having the kill lead. Tie up the turrets. But only a 1,500 gold lead for the side of BBQ at the moment. Mountain Drake, another one, getting ready to come up here soon as Tempt. Gonna get taunted, they come over the wall, Empty looking for the kill. Who's gonna pop the ultimate immediately, flashes away, back underneath the tower. But it's an ever move. It's a little bit more damage in, but overall Tempt gonna be suffering for that one.
Say we will about Teddy. He has been very aggressive this game on the Vladimir. Rolls through with the Predator. Not going to do too much. Didn't actually go for Spellbind a second when Morellonomicon. They've really respected the healing from the Trundle and Swain in particular. Early Executioner's calling from the Kindred, delayed his own build. Morellonomicon from the Vladimir. Rapid Fire Cannon. And they really need that 4th stack to make Rapid Fire Cannon relevant. As at 500 range, you don't get a lot of bonus range from Rapid Fire Cannon, but 575, you get way more. And there it is, baby. Number 4.
Ready to go.
Now he's Ye Old Varus. At 575.
Sweeping. He's looking for the red buff. He's Trick starting this.
He can wait.
Play this one slowly. Pushes through now. Stand United coming down. Taunt rolls thin. That's going to be Trick falling yet again. Umpty coming up with the kill. Takes away the red buff. Jin Air starting to work their way into a favorable position here in this game.
Trick has been
from BBQ in the mid.
Trick's been guilty of not really scoping out his jungle and dying to face checks a couple of times. This time, just like their inaccurate setup around the bot lane outer turret, he goes for it. The fastest access to his own red buff and dies. Not the best look, because look what they're losing around the map as that play happens.
I mean, it's just been such a seesaw performance from him. The start of this, you know, picking up those early kills, getting the wonderful ganks coming through from BBQ, puts them on the board, was looking like a bit of a PogChamp Trick. Now he's looking a bit more like Brother Trick because he keeps getting picked off. 6-4. They still have a lead, but it's much smaller than it used to be, Papa Smith. He was 2,000 gold at one point. Now it's 500.
This is true, and the 2 Drakes to Jin Air are Mountain Drakes for their we could have 2 smites and kill the Baron fast situation, which was looking like their only way out of the game, Achilles. But of course, a lot has changed in those 8 minutes or so since we were umming and ahhing about that one. BBQ going to put down some aggressive vision to at least make people predictable, and they get their 2nd turret of the game. But after the early game, this wasn't supposed to be even trades for Jin Air. They were quite far behind.
Yeah.
They were able to pick up first brick through using the Rift out top side. Starting to get going with his Rapid Fire Cannon completed a while ago. And we'll see how the front lines go. Grace and Tempt both on these frontline mages. I think Swain is a bit more reliable, but there's always value in instant casties.
He's just taking the blue buff for himself here. Grace up in the top lane. So not going to be getting a handoff as Teddy tries to defend this turret here in mid. Push forward from BBQ, trying to get some aggressive vision into the top side of the jungle. Ward going to get denied away. Grace will clear that one out.
He's on a flank. He's not scouted where he is, but don't normally think of Kindred as a flanking champion.
Yeah. Could just get blown up. You can CC. Can't drop that Lamb's Respite. Nova.
Deep teleport. Predator Vladimir coming eventually.
A bit awkward. He's a bit stuck in the wall there.
We are definitely going.
Oh boy, here comes Teddy around from the back. Body slam comes in. He drops that Hemo play, gets a couple members of BBQ. Goes low. Goes golden right at the last second. Gets the heals coming in. Manages to stay alive. And the Lamb's Respite layered on just in case. Helps keep him alive, but no kills on either side. Never move connects in onto Soan. by the worst member you could possibly find. Not going to get much done against that Mundo.
I like the effort from Teddy, but with the outer mid lane turret still up, very hard to pull off a flank in that scenario, and no one was following him. No Realm Warp used in that fight to launch people to the back line. Teddy doesn't have one rotation yet, didn't get Death Cap on that back either.
Yep.
He'll back away.
Might have it now.
He's getting his eye in on the flank plays. I wonder if he has Gathering Storm this game.
Not sure. We haven't gotten a graphic update on that.
And still no gold for the Death Cap to confirm.
Yeah. Gonna be a little bit longer. Haven't seen the gold figures in a while, so not sure how far away he is. That's Umpty. Finds Ghost. Ghost definitely doesn't want to take that fight.
Forward vision here for Jin Air, the blue side jungle. I'm waiting to see when they try the Baron for the first time. Level 15 and level 14 smites available if there is that charge on Sowan to use his unsealed spellbook Mundo. The first time we're seeing that this season. No Resolve Tree first for him. Ignar failed his body slam.
Yeah, not going to have that one. Let's go over the wall. Flash going to be down. That's a very costly mistake. Now will not have the Flash body slam combo to try to open up a pick for the side of BBQ. Oh me, oh my. This is how things slowly just start spiraling down for BBQ.
And it didn't even start with that Trick not being able to pick up his red buff cleanly into Ignar, failing a body slam over the wall. You're right, the downward spiral that BBQ already is on is full zoom on the wall.
Yeah.
This observer is just rude.
He is a savage man today.
So rude.
Shout out to the Downward Spiral. Great album, by the way.
Shout out to BBQ. Good chicken.
Great chicken. I can definitely say that.
Never seen a full zoom on a wall. My God.
You know, might have to shake this guy's hand later. Just for being so bold.
He certainly is bold.
This is going to be great when the teams watch the VOD review and they realize how much this guy's
Yeah.
been savaging them the entire time.
You know, if they complained about it, they'd have a case.
Crazy. Walking in. He says, hey, what up? You get wild. He'll take a little stun to the wall as Ghost starts to arrive. Nova uses the standing item.
So that was
They thought they were going to get a catch on the Gnar by himself.
But if you consider where everyone else on the map was, there was a lot of chance that was going to be 2 kills to the side of BBQ if you go in that aggressive with no vision.
Yeah.
You try that in solo queue. In professional play, maybe be a bit more conservative. The moment that you're opening up on a Gnar
You're still in Mega.
in range of a lot of walls to be slammed on. Not sure about that one.
It's a tri-brush. He's in one of the most walled places ever.
So the reason why Mundo wants help and is calling in Umpty is you notice that it's the Rageblade Gnar to basically kill Mundo super fast. Speaking of killing
Coming around the side, takes the short hop, doesn't have a flash, however. Oh, they could die for days, but they're going to draw out a TP. This is the Cleaver. Got the teleport coming in. Tempt arriving first, never move in onto Umpty. He's going to go golden. Tries to stay alive, flash to the side, Lamb's Respite going to come down. He jumps right outside of it before the heal would come through. And that's a kill handed over to Ghost. Now the play coming forward. Grace getting burned down. Grace gonna fall. Can't really do much. Teddy goes into the back. The Hemo play coming through. Tries to stay alive. True Shot Barrage rips him to bits. And Crazy finds the kill. Nova gonna die. And Sowan will be the only one walking away with his life. And this is gonna be BBQ just charging straight over towards that Baron. Jin Air trying to get a catch on the Gnar. Might have just thrown it all away.
Just a colossal mistake from Jin Air. I understand the original thought of I can't lane against the Gnar. He's got Rageblade. He procs the Hyper too much. But from there, Umpty just walks up. They're going to be outnumbered every time. Teddy can't get in. And one by one, they fall. This should be Baron to BBQ. And a huge shift in momentum.
Unless there's a catastrophic mistake. Sowan does have Flash, and he does have Smite on the Mundo.
That's true.
Can he make his way in? Ultimate not going to be available for some time, but BBQ can just delay it. They'll get the stun into the wall. He will go down. And now they can fully confirm it for themselves. Umpty respawn, but nowhere close. Baron will be taken. BBQ, a breath of fresh air for the squad as he tried to put a 4th game win on the board.
Oh boy, this replay going to be hard watching for Jin Air.
Have fun.
Now, they get one teleport in as the Rise comes to join, but they're so outnumbered in a fight like this. Umpty tries to skip around into his death. Perhaps consider your Rangers a bit more carefully, and then from there, it's everyone is just screwed because they're so far out of position. The Vlad comes in, does quite a lot of damage, but there's no one to follow up on it because is already dead and everyone else out of position. It's a calamity of errors from the side of Jin Air. Just a complete unforced error as well. They were the ones setting up the gank.
Yep. And now BBQ off the back of the Baron get themselves an Infernal Dragon. You can see a lot, a decent amount of damage coming out of the Vladimir, as you were saying, but no one to follow up. So, just can't get anything.
Oh boy, that was bad.
Yep, this was...
It is 9th versus 10th.
It's exactly the type of play that I was anticipating coming into today.
I'm impressed. So that lets you know that they've outdone my expectations one way or the other. Still, nice little pickup for BBQ. You can only kill the people who run into you one by one, so they were able to do that. See what they can get with the Baron. They've been unable to break bases with multiple Barons before. I imagine they just have Ignar and Trick throw down pillars and stuff and zone people away from these turrets. Come on, BBQ. Threaten the turret. Ezreal should be taking the top lane one. We can't see that one. For once, the Observer not showing the turret. There we go.
Hey, we got it.
Nicely done. If they Rambo in and fail, they lose the game. So they're being a bit more safe here. Ghost, Tempt, Trick walk up to this turret, taking a lot of damage. And for now, no answer from Jin Air.
Can't really get in range. Grace can't clear out the Baron-empowered minions, so this is just going to be an inhibitor potentially going down, as well as that tower in mid. Someone starts rotating back over. Yep, final shots coming through. So top inhib going to be broken. Mid inner going down. But not, prepared here for the push. But BBQ going to be happy with potentially 2 inhibs taken in one fell swoop.
Damage on Crazy, so Vlad starts to disengage. Second inhibitor, they have one more minion wave after this, so they do have quite a lot of time. No need to get greedy. Not a lot of threat onto this Baroned up minion either.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about that damage today. Killer coming down. Nearly broken. True Shot Barrage going to be tossed in. Grace gets locked up and jumped down to about half HP. Second inhib under fire. Teddy looking for an opportunity perhaps to get into the back line, but if they can't get the kills, might just be the end of the game here for Jin Air.
Showing
in the back.
Showing that one. Predator Vladimir could try to teleport there.
He's ready. He's going to go ahead. He's going to throw this down.
Can they actually collapse here and get some value out of the Rise? He needs the Rise with him. Well, he is alone.
Teddy arriving, and nobody else is here. That's going to be the Stand United coming in, but already into the Sand Green pool. Gets locked up. Will get popped. Comes up with a kill, and now Nova is also going to be dead. Jin Air, the execution on this just absolutely poor. Big stun into the wall. Going to lock up So-On. Going to look for Upti. He's still alive for the moment. So-On getting focused out. Will die in the end. Trick finds the kill. Upti running away, not gonna have anywhere to go. Ghost gets the pop onto the Guardian Angel. He's completely surrounded. And this should be the end of game number 2. BBQ picking up a 4th game win. Jin Air now have to play a best of 1 to try to deny BBQ a match victory.
So victory for BBQ in this one, Jin Air. Too many colossal mistakes. The last one especially. Vlad goes in, no one backs him up, he dies, so did Jin Air, and like you mentioned, some bonus League of Legends. Let's have a game number 3.
Going all the way here tonight. We had a 2-0 in the first series, but not to be. It's BBQ versus Jin Air, ladies and gentlemen. Things will never go the way that you expect. They get the game 2 win, making our nights longer and our hearts just beat out of our chests, because we never know what the heck is going on.
And game number 3 could be pretty crazy as well, Achilles. We could have all sorts of things going on in the pick and ban. The Trundle so far might need to be respected by the side of Jin Air after 2 good performances from Trick. Jin Air unable to come back into the game. They were so strong in the mid game. I think they were actually ahead. And then 2 big mistakes later, the game is over. League of Legends could be a fickle mistress in that way. Seeing the Jin Air players try and reset their mental with Coach Fly. I'm sure they understand that they made some mistakes. The communication by the end was falling away. BBQ Oliver's desperate to get that first match victory. You have to think they're going to be coming in hungry and with momentum in game number 3.
Absolutely. is back over to the red side for them, so the draft is going to be more complicated still. We'll see if they want to opt in to banning the Zoe yet again, or if they'll take the Nocturne or the Kindred off the board. There's a couple good moments from Umpty, but overall, I mean, this just went from Trick doing really well in the Trundle to kind of doing poorly, and then bringing it back home. It's a weird series, a weird game, but we keep going. Keep plowing through.
Speaking of plowing through, some big damage numbers from the Ezreal in this one. Much improved performance from Ghost. Seems like Marksman might suit Teddy a little bit better. I think in a different game where his team made less mistakes, the Vladimir could have ended things, but by the end, there seemed to be a disconnect in responsibilities between Teddy and the rest of the team. So things to be fixed very quickly. We don't have a long break before we get into game number 3.
Nope.
A lot of issues on both sides to be fixed, otherwise they wouldn't find themselves 9th and 10th on the ladder. BBQ need that match win if they're going to go with one this season. Can they get it after the break?
And just a couple minutes to kind of gather their thoughts, figure out how they're going to approach this final draft, this final game, what the game plan is going to be. Jinair especially, probably a bit of a head scratcher after that one. We're going to go to that break. We'll be back in just a few, guys, so don't go anywhere.